We have decided to take a trip this week in this Combi-Camp. And it's really interesting because we are in the middle of March. And usually you don't travel with your Combi-Camp in the middle of March. There are freezing temperatures at night. So we are really excited to see if we can keep warm in this Combi-Camp for a week. Another thing that is really exciting or really interesting is that we are in the middle of Corona, COVID-19 lockdown. So there are no cultural things open. There are no restaurants, no cafes, nothing at all like that. So what we are going to do this week is just going to have a good time in the Combi-Camp, hopefully, if we can keep warm, and enjoy ourselves and enjoy the beautiful nature in this area around the campsite. We are on a trip in this Combi-Camp Country Heat and this Kia Exceed. And we have been on trips with Combi-Camps before. It was last summer, it was June, July, and it was like fantastic summer weather. But now we are in the middle of March, and as we all know, there may be freezing points around this time of year. But we are quite sure that we can stay warm in the Combi-Camp at night. We have like this much PJs with us. So if the heat is not working or the heat is not sufficient enough, we know we can dress up in all our PJs and still stay warm at night. We have taken this week vacation here in March, here at Camp 1 Ejstrup Strand. And this campsite is really great situated. This has the beach right down here and there's a lot of beautiful nature around here. And the campsite itself is absolutely amazing. Another really great thing, it's situated close to the second biggest city in Denmark, which is Aarhus. So if you want to have cafes, bars, the restaurant, museums, and any cultural things, Aarhus is a really great city. Another thing is really great is the Combi-Camp we have here, because the Combi-Camp is more than just a tent trailer. This thing only weighs about 750 kilos when you put it all down in the trailer. You can tow it by more or less any car that you have. But the really great thing when you get here, you put everything up, you have a 2-room vacation apartment, which I think is really great. And I even have my own kitchen. We are on this trip in this tent wagon, this Combi-Camp here in the middle of March. And usually you say, do you travel with a tent or a tent wagon in the middle of March? Yes, we do. Because this Combi-Camp we are traveling with is a little bit special one. It's called Combi-Camp Heat. And the heat sign on it is because we have this special heat system in it. Check in. We have this special heat thing here. And the thing this does is it blows warm air right in here. This is our bed compartment. This is where we like stay all night, and it's really important that you sleep good at night. If I lift up this bed, which is really easy, you can see that the heat system is all the way around here under our bed. And it's not just all the way around the bed, because if you look where I point right now, here, if you see this is a ventil and it's all around the bed. So you don't have cold air around the bed at all. This heat system has this control panel. This is placed under the bed right now, but you can place this anywhere you want. It can control the temperature, it can control how much the fan is going to blow, and it can control how much energy it's going to put out. The good thing is you don't get the cool air around the bed. You can have warm air around the bed all night long. So it's a big bed, but you can still sleep close to the tent because the warm air is coming up right next to it. This is the main part of the Combi-Camp. If you know a Combi-Camp, you know that this part is the one that you can just put up and it's just there. You don't need them with plugs, you don't need anything. But the heating system is really, really, really brilliant here. Because see, these valves here, these are the ends, just one there. There's another valve right here. And the thing is, this can rise the temperature by around 10 degrees. But we are in the middle of March and we do have minus degrees outside in the night, like 2-3 degrees minus. We have around 6 degrees right now. It would be a little bit cold, so we have this extra heater here in the awning. Because we like sitting out here in the evening, and it's really good because this one can raise the temperature to around 20-25 degrees, whatever we decide to do. The really good thing about it is we can have this out here in the evening, and when we sit out here we close into the main cabin and it still stays around 10 degrees in there. But out here we have around 20-25 degrees. But when we go to bed, we put the heater inside here. So within 5 to 10 minutes, we do have a really comfortable temperature here in the sleeping area. So as I see it, there's no problem at all having a good vacation outside of the season in your Combi-Camp. It is really cozy in our borrowed Combi-Camp. As always, we have brought a lot of party lights with us. We think it's cozy and gives a comfortable light. There's enough space in the awning to play games, work, cook and sit and read, so even if everything is closed, we won't get bored. One thing that really impresses me about this Combi-Camp Country Heat is that it really fits into a trailer. The total weight of this is 750 kilos, and more or less every car that you know can tow this. Another thing is that this is a 2-room apartment that weighs 750 kilos. It's a 2-room apartment on wheels. And the main compartment in here, you can do that. You can use this just as it is. You don't really need the extra space, but then it's just a 1-room apartment. There's not a lot of room in there, but there's plenty of room for 2 people for 1 night or 2 nights. If you feel like you need some extra space, you can put on the awning like we have done here. And then you get this fantastic 2-room apartment. And it's not just a 2-room apartment, it's a 2-room studio apartment. But please check this out. Check this amazing kitchen. There's lots of room here to make great food for the whole family. We even have cooling space here. We have a stove with 3 burners and we have wash with running water. And if you are a family of 4 or 5 or 6, there's plenty of room here. We are only 2 people, so we have like loads of room here. But still, there's still plenty of room if you want to be more than 2 people. And the great thing about this is that it is a 2-room apartment. Please check this out. Here is the sleeping department. And if you have kids, for instance, they can go to bed early. And the parents can sit out there in the awning and have a good time in the evening. Play their games and check their phones and do what adult people do in the evening. And still you can close here. And the kids can lay in here and sleep and get their good night rest and get all the hours of sleep they need. No problem at all. Check this room out, it's really great. There's a lot of ventilation in here and there's a lot of light in here. This is March, so we have closed down quite a bit of it, but we have opened this so you can see it. Usually we have it all rolled down because of the heat. It's not that warm outside now in the middle of March. But still, look at this, a lot of light. And the same over here, behind my clothes, a lot of light. And if you need some extra air in, there's mosquito nets here in the middle. And you can roll up on the outside and you get plenty of fresh air in and you don't get any mosquitoes in. If you don't really care about the mosquitoes, you can roll down the whole side and get really a lot of air and a lot of light in. And you can do the same thing here behind me. In here, there's a lot of space, a lot of storage room. If you see here on both sides of the bed, you see these pockets. And they are really good for storing small stuff like keys, key cards, and things like that. And they are pretty big. We have even bags here. We have brochures and we have iPads. So there's a lot of room there. But one thing that really impresses me is what we have under the bed here. And the good thing, the bed is really easy to pull up. Check down here. There are more than 1,700 liters of storage space down here. Still, there's a lot of room to store stuff like furniture and things down there. One thing in this Combi-Camp that has really impressed me a lot is that we have no condensation at all. Usually when we camp in middle of March like we are right now, there's a lot of condensation, especially because you use external heaters and stuff like that. It gives a lot of condensation. Also, we sleep in this place, so our breathing, the air we breathe out, also gives a lot of condensation, but we don't feel it at all. It's not wet, it's completely dry all over. So this is really a well-breathing tent. We are sitting here at 7:30 in the evening in our Combi-Camp awning, and we still have really great temperature out here. We are in the middle of March, don't forget that. But the reason we can keep the temperature the way we can is we have this heater right here. We don't really use it that much in the daytime, but in the nighttime it's really great. We close into the sleeping area and we can have 20 degrees out here with no problem at all. We still have the heater running in there to keep the temperature in there really nice. And in the evening, we just turn this on around, put it right in here in the sleeping area, close the door here, and we have between 15 and 20 degrees in the sleeping area. The good thing is that you can combine the heating systems like this. We have been away for more or less a week right now, and this is our last night here in the Combi-Camp here in March, and it's really been a great week. But we still have to get some dinner this last night. And we did take down the awning today because we want to have an easy morning as we always do. The thing is, we still want to have some dinner. The Combi-Camp kitchen has been working really well for the past week. We are in Corona time, so there are no restaurants working at all. So we have been making all our food ourselves. But the kitchen has been working really well. This is our last night, and even though the whole week we have been making food in the awning, today we're going to make it in free air, and it still works really well. We have our cooler box here, we have a lot of storage room here, different kinds. We have drawers here, and we have a little cabin here, and we also have this shelf here, which works really good because this is where I store more or less everything. We have let the plastic on the cover stay outside the main Combi-Camp department here this night because we don't want to take the mud from this area out here into the main Combi-Camp department. Now we just have to wait for this to get finished, and then we can sit inside and enjoy the nice heat of the Combi-Camp. One of the good things about this car, the Kia and the Combi-Camp, is it isn't that long. So if you have to do some grocery shopping or shopping on the way, it's not a difficult thing. Here we are parked in a double parking space, but you can also do the thing that you parallel park, and there's plenty of room for the trailer and the car. A week in this Combi-Camp country heat is over, and we are still in the middle of March, and we have had no problems keeping warm at all. So it's no problem traveling out of season with a Combi-Camp. We have used the Combi-Camp heat system combined with a heater, and the heater used about 5 liters of petroleum every day, and we have had this oven running more or less for 24 hours. When it was a little bit extra cold, we closed into the sleeping department, and we only used the Combi-Camp heat system in there, and when we closed, and then we could use the oven we had in the awning. And we had no problems at all keeping warm.